Hello, Allison Whipple of 9 Square Press here. This is the final video in my baseball kigo series, and today we're taking a look at winter. Now the thing about winter is it is the off season. We're not playing any Major League Baseball games. It's certainly not in the US at least. Now in temperate zones, it could still be possible to play outside, and there is a big baseball culture in some of the tropical regions of the world. So those of us who live in temperate zones, there is no baseball happening. But this is one of the fun things about studying seasons relative to haiku and studying the progression of the year is that the tropics, with their relatively warm and stable climate, you can just do a lot of things year round that you cannot do in temperate zones. So there might be some baseball getting played outside in the temperate zones in winter. We don't really have any specific, baseball keywords for winter. I did in my spring video talk about, does spring training better belong in winter or spring? And it's kind of one of those in-between ones where I firmly settled on it as being a spring term, since it does say spring, even though it starts in February. But again, according to the Haiku calendar, February is spring. And also, even if we still perceive it as winter, it is certainly the harbinger of spring. And in the classical kigo tradition, there are certain words that they're kind of a little bit on the cusp, where it's very late winter, but it's signifying spring. Or it's super early spring and it might still feel a little wintry. There might be snow, but it's a clear indicator that spring is on the way. And so that's how I think spring training functions. I don't really feel like it is a strictly winter term. So really, we're not seeing much in the way of keywords, but believe it or not, in this book, Baseball Haiku, the best haiku ever written about the game, which if you are a haiku and baseball fan, you should own. If you're a haiku fan, you should own. Honestly, even if you're a baseball fan and you don't read haiku, maybe get this book. Maybe get introduced to haiku and learn to love it through baseball. I would recommend that. But we do have some of our poets writing about winter. 2 of them from Ed Markowski again, I know, but he wrote so many and they're so good. Winter Reverie. The faint scent of bubblegum on an old baseball card. Winter Reverie. The faint scent of bubblegum on an old baseball card. I love that. It's really, to me, I imagine this as being in the thick of winter, and maybe you are, bored, you're snowed in and you're ruffling through the attic, or maybe it's even late winter and you're doing some early spring cleaning, getting ahead of the curve. And it's definitely not baseball season, but you're shuffling around your attic, or maybe you're feeling nostalgic and going through mementos, or you're going through that one random drawer in your house with all that random stuff in it. And this old baseball card comes out and you smell it. That was my dog sneezing, by the way. And it smells just so faintly of bubblegum still, even after so much time. That gum has long since been chewed. The card is possibly yellowed, or the corners are bent, or it's got some creases in it, or it's just structurally not as sound as it was. But there's still that smell of the bubble gum, and that in and of itself evokes this sort of dream, this dream of summer in the middle of winter. Another one from Ed Markowski. Another cold front, I oil my glove. Another cold front, I oil my glove. So a leather baseball glove, you do need to take care of it. And that includes oiling it. And yes, you would possibly be oiling it in the winter. Now, Ed might be oiling it because it's a cold front and he's housebound and maybe getting a little cabin fever and just needs an activity to do to stay occupied. So oiling his glove is a way to do that. Or maybe he needs some hope that this cold front will end soon and it'll be time to play baseball. So he's oiling his glove out of hope. And it could be also, winter is a very dry time. The outside air is dry. If you have central heat or even a space heater, that dries the air out. So you would possibly just need to oil your glove in winter as general maintenance, even though you're not using it, because with all the dryness in the atmosphere around you, that the leather on that glove is going to dry out and it's going to crack, and you don't want that. You don't want to wait all winter and get all the way to spring and then find your glove is in bad shape. You oil it even when you can't play it. So, lovely poem that opens itself to a lot of possibilities. And this last one I'll share is from Matthew V. Spano, or Spano, I'm not sure. Sorry, Matthew. A chill wind whistles through the bleachers, the locked equipment box. A chill wind whistles through the bleachers, the locked equipment box. So that is a fantastic winter setting. No one's playing. The park's abandoned. The equipment box is locked for the year. No one's coming through it soon. Bleachers are empty. No spectators. Nothing. The image of the wind going through the bleachers is extra evocative to me because, if it was spring or summer or even fall, those bleachers would be packed. They'd actually be creating buffer, but because there's no one there and you've got the slats in between the seats, it just rushes through. I love that sonic effect that the poem evokes in my mind. I think that's wonderful. Anyway, so as I said, not really any winter kigo related to baseball, except maybe spring training. But if you have other thoughts, if there's something I haven't considered, do let me know in the comments. And I hope you have some lovely haiku moments this week.